We sit at the very top of the food chain, yet most of us spend our days surrounded by engineered convenience. We have climate control, instant food delivery, and perfectly padded chairs. As a result, a vast majority of people live entirely ordinary, unfulfilled lives, never realizing what they are actually capable of doing. It is why the wealthiest piece of real estate on the planet is the local graveyard. Down in the soil, you will find a fortune in unwritten books, unlaunched businesses, and untested ideas. All those dreams were buried by people who felt too comfortable to take a single, frightening first step. While human success is often measured by modern tools, we share a deeper primal history with the rest of the natural world. To understand the raw mechanics of survival and persistence, we have to look toward creatures that have faced the elements since long before humanity existed. Success requires us to discard our deep-seated instinct for safety. We have to strip away the padding and adopt the relentless behaviors of the most resilient creatures on Earth. When humans face a deadline, we instinctively negotiate with time. We tell ourselves we will start studying the night before the exam, or we will finally launch that project next Monday. Insects don't have the luxury of procrastination. Look at a colony of ants during the peak of summer heat. They are already planning for the freeze. Their singular protocol is to scour the terrain, locate a resource like this dead insect, and drag it back to the nest immediately. This is a calculation of volume. Individual workers push their bodies to the absolute limit, routinely lifting 20 times their own body weight to ensure an impenetrable stockpile exists for a winter they can't even feel yet. The very first phase of any serious endeavor happens months or years before the actual test. It begins with relentless, maximum capacity preparation while the weather is still warm. Once the preparation ends, the actual execution begins, and the environment changes completely. You leave the relative comfort of summer and enter a barren, hostile landscape, much like this massive sand dune. Execution in this phase requires a slow, agonizing crawl through loose terrain under a crushing burden, often upwards of 200 kilograms. This is a landscape of searing heat and a total absence of water. This graph charts distance over time to compare two distinct survival strategies. The sharp, rising curve is a sprint, the strategy of a fast animal trying to rush through the pain. The slow, flat, linear line represents the camel strategy of deliberate, measured pacing. Notice exactly where the sprint curve crashes into exhaustion. The fast animal burns out early in the desert. But right here at the intersection, the slow and steady line pushes past it, proving that measured, persistent steps ultimately cover vastly more ground. Our instinct as humans is to panic when the pressure spikes. We try to rush to the finish line. We see competitors sprinting past us and feel the urge to speed up, completely forgetting our rhythm. True execution requires you to ignore the sprinters. You have to abandon the desire for a quick victory and commit to relentless, weight-bearing endurance. Surviving the desert gets you to the top, but staying there introduces the most difficult phase of all. To understand how to sustain an apex position, we have to look up toward the snow-capped peaks where the eagle operates. When an eagle chick learns to fly, the mother doesn't gently coax it. She forcefully reaches into the nest, rips out the soft grass and warm feathers, and exposes the sharp, jagged thorns hiding underneath. She does this because biology dictates a harsh rule. If the nest remains a safe, comfortable place, the chick will never take the leap. It will sit there until a larger predator scales the tree and eats it. Growth at the highest level cannot happen in a state of ease. Your environment has to become intensely, painfully uncomfortable before your true capabilities will ever emerge. Decades later, that same apex bird faces a severe biological crisis. Its talons grow dull, its beak bends and weakens, and its feathers become thick and heavy, making high-altitude flight nearly impossible. Rather than accepting this slow decline, the aging eagle retreats to a high mountain ridge. Up there, in the freezing wind, it systematically tears out its own heavy, useless feathers one by one. Then comes the most brutal step. The bird repeatedly smashes its weakened beak against the solid stone of the mountain, striking the rock over and over until the beak breaks off completely. Stripped of its weapons and unable to fly, the eagle sits in total isolation. It waits, completely vulnerable, enduring the agonizing months it takes for a new, sharper beak, lethal talons, and fresh feathers to grow in. Any long-term ambition eventually reaches a similar threshold. The very skills and habits that once made you an expert eventually grow rigid and heavy, becoming the primary obstacles to your next stage of growth. Avoiding obsolescence requires a deliberate, often painful period of stripping away those outdated methods. You can choose to avoid this pain. You can stay safely behind a wire mesh, living a confined, highly predictable life on the ground with the rest of the flock. But sustaining greatness over a lifetime means accepting that you cannot remain the person you are right now. You must be willing to tear down your old self, endure the vulnerability of the cold, and build yourself back up so you can soar again.